What is stopping you from showing up as your most unapologetic, most free, most empowered version of yourself? Hello, and welcome to my channel where we dive deep into all things healing, transformation, and rising into full authenticity. I'm Lexi, a health and embodiment coach, and I'm here to help guide you back home to yourself so you can reclaim your power and create a life anchored in purpose. If you're ready to break free from limitations and rise into your fullest expression, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. And before we jump in, I just wanted to mention that I'm currently offering a free 30-minute embodiment session to help you break past barriers and unlock the most empowered version of yourself. You can go ahead and grab your free session in the description below. So, something that's been really magnetized for me over the past couple of weeks, really, is seeing how fear, worry, doubt, inadequacy stops me from playing it big. And this energy of fear, inadequacy, not enoughness, just feeling of lack became very clear to me as I'm trying to bring things into my life. And every time I would imagine it, do all the handbook manifestation methods, I just felt this big block. And it just felt like this weight was sitting over me. And I spent a lot of time rejecting it, resisting it, trying to pretend it wasn't there, just basically find any quick fix method I possibly could. And yes, being an embodiment coach, that sounds weird, but you know, a lot of times my first instinct to emotions has been to quick fix, let's, run through this really quick and let's go. So that's why I appreciate embodiment work so much, because it's really pushed me to dive deeper into processing how I feel before just moving on to the next thing. But as I recognize that this is a deeper layer here, this was very clearly a deep pattern that was wanting to come up to be healed. So instead of trying to rush through it or skip over it or try any other quick fix methods, I decided to sit with it. Yeah, and it was really uncomfortable. It was days of just really allowing it to emote, to feel where it was coming from, to see how, the complexity of it, and how it really affects everything. And I saw how that feeling of that not enoughness led to me not taking action, or led to me doubting myself, and ultimately to me playing it small. And I saw how it served me in that moment. It served me staying comfortable, staying in my shell, staying invisible, and not sharing my truth. And that was a big realization for me. And it was in that moment, instead of trying to change or skip over or anything else, I recognized, okay, so I feel this thing, but I'm not going to let it stop me. And that's where empowerment comes through. Because we can't always shift, wiring, or, even our nervous systems at time. We can't just automatically shift these things. But what we can do is make the decision to not let it stop us from moving forward. The quote that's really coming to mind right now is, "Don't let the fear of striking out stop you from playing the game." I think that's the quote. And so my question is for you, where are you playing it small, playing it safe? What habits, what routines, what ways of being do you have that keep you comfortable? I am calling you out because the world needs people like you who are full of light, full of love, ready to express themselves in this world. Because too many of us are letting things like fear, of worry, and of things that don't actually matter stop us from focusing on the thing that actually does matter, which is showing up big, bold, expressed, and full of light. That's what matters. You matter. So why are you letting these things keep you playing it small? You deserve more than that. We all deserve more than that. We deserve to feel comfortable in our own skins. And the more we learn to express ourselves authentically, we create a safer place in the world for other people to do the same. And I want to let you know that as I'm filming this, there are people surrounding this room that can hear me, that can even see me because there's a very large window next to me. And maybe even 2 weeks ago, I would have stopped recording and waited for them to leave for me to keep going. Because to a certain degree, there's a part of me that still feels weird for expressing myself. And it's never going to be an overnight thing. There's always going to be those moments where you recognize where you're playing it small. And in this moment right now, I'm continuing to record because cool, yeah, they're seeing somebody record a video. Awesome. Nobody cares that much, right? And so I really want you to reflect on your life right now. Where are you keeping yourself small and comfortable in your little safe zone? Where are you doing that? And how can you change that? How can you shift that? You know, one of the reasons I love embodiment work is it really gave me the tools I need to process these types of things. And so, for example, I was able to see all the little shifts of how my fear led me to not believing in myself, and how my overanalyzing of, outcomes led me to, doubting outcomes, and that doubting outcomes led me to not taking any action at all. And then that led me to ultimately not show up at all. And so I feel like embodiment work has really given me the tools that I did not have before to really process my emotions and process what I'm moving through. And maybe it's not that for you. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe it's connecting with your breath. Maybe it's going out for a walk. But it's so important to mention to have these types of tools for you to do the deep work. And so again, that was a complete side note, but I had to share my appreciation for this work because it has quite literally helped me transform my life in the past year. I was so lost in October of 2024 last year. I had quit my job. I had broken up with my boyfriend of 4 years that I thought I was going to get married to, have kids. We had started a whole family together. We had our own place. And I had set off into the unknown. And it was really scary. It was really scary. But having the right tools to move me through this process, to learn how to trust the process, was everything. Because years ago, I had no emotional intelligence. And I was quite literally a shell of myself. And I didn't know how to navigate the changes in my life. I just thought life was happening to me. And so it's really been able to help empower me to see how life is working with you. And a lot of the times it happens through emotions and what's coming up for you. And so by learning to work with myself on a deeper level, I've learned to work with the world at a deeper level, work with God in a deeper level. So my practice for you is I want you to write down and reflect on how you are keeping yourself small right now. What's keeping you comfortable and safe in your little shell? And just write down a couple things or what you're seeing. Just write it all down. And next, I want you to connect with the boldest, most expressive, the version of you that makes you feel so confident. And I want you to see how they would show up in these areas. Then all you have to do is integrate. Just do it. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to feel nice. It's probably going to feel like a part of you is dying, because it kind of is. But I want you to see how you can shift this energy. If you are attracted to what I'm talking about, it's because part of you knows you're here for a much larger purpose. And like you, I kind of always felt like that was a distant dream until I learned how to start showing up as my most empowered, authentic, bold self. You are a big part of the change. your life does have deeper meaning. And you showing up, spreading your light, spreading your joy, spreading what makes you you, and just showing up just confident and bold and carving out your own path, that creates the change. So many of us live lives where, we follow what our parents did. We listen to what our friends are doing. We follow social norms. We listen to other people's rules and traditions. And along the way, we completely lose ourselves in all of it. And by learning what's true to you and finding the confidence and the courage to show up, living your most aligned life, living a life that feels true to you, we rebel against the theory that we have to do what everyone else is doing and that it's okay for us to lose ourselves in the process, because it's not. I've always felt like somewhat of an outsider, like I could never really truly fit in no matter how much I tried to. And while that did have a lot of disadvantages, it's also given me the advantage of sight, clarity, of seeing the truth, that we're not meant to fit in, that we're not meant to stay comfortable and follow, the rules and what our families did, and, just following the way that's been paved out for us. And instead, learning how to pave a path that feels most authentic to ourselves. And now, if you lived a life where, you've been following other people's rules and you've been, just following the beaten path, it could feel incredibly uncomfortable to break out of that. And that's where this community is here to support you. That's what I feel I am here to help serve. And so it's not going to be easy, but it is one baby step at a time. And the way we work through that is we look at our lives now and we just recognize, where am I playing it safe? Where in my life do I feel like I am not aligned with my truth? What doesn't feel good to me anymore? And then connect with that empowered version of yourself, the most confident version of yourself, and see, what would they do? Connect with what they're doing and how they're doing it. But enough ranting. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll catch you next time. And that's a wrap for today's episode. I hope this conversation helped in some way. If you liked this episode, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you're ready to dive deeper, don't forget I'm offering a free embodiment session. You can find the link to book your session, as well as find more information for working one-on-one with me, and all other helpful links in the description below. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll catch you the next time. Bye for now.